What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Half Marathon Prep Series. Today is our first run of the program, and we're taking it outside for a nice little tempo run at about 5.25 miles. It's about 90 degrees out, so we're going to see if we can survive the heat today, but let's get after it. Guys, just got back from the first half marathon training session. Ran only 4.5 miles, just not used to the 90-degree heat and humidity yet here in Wisconsin, so it was a good run though. I'll share the metrics on the screen now, and you can get a taste for what I did today. My target pace was 7:25, but we went a little quicker today and decided to ramp it up, I guess, to 7:09. So I guess we're feeling fast after the first half. So, but it was a good run altogether. I'm happy with it, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, first training session is down. It is now nighttime. Today's running session was good. Although I didn't really hit the mileage I was looking for, the pace was very good. I was almost going probably a little too fast for the tempo that I should have been at, being at a 7:09 versus where we wanted to be at 7:25. But all in all, I think it was a good run, a good workout to start with. And I'm excited to kind of get into it and finish this week out going forward. So what I want to talk about today specifically are my top 5 tips for getting started in running. First tip I have for all people looking to get started in running is to start slow. It can be very tempting to just be like, I want to get into running, I want to get after it, I want to ramp my mileage up, I want to ramp the number of runs up that I'm doing per week. But trust me, you're not going to stick with it. You're going to fall off the wagon. You're going to be way too motivated at the beginning, and that motivation is going to slide ever slow down. So I would recommend starting slow. What I did personally and what has worked for me and was where it got me to where I am today, where I can run longer distances and I really enjoy it, the process, is I started with 1 to 2 runs a week, and I kept the mileage relatively low, maybe 1.5, 2 mile runs, stuff that I knew that I could accomplish and that my body was ready for at the time, given the cardiovascular level that I was at. Be in mind, I was also coming off an injury, so I did want to kind of ease myself back into it, being with my torn ACL, coming back from that. So I would definitely recommend starting slow, starting small, and working your way up as you go. Maybe the first 1, 2, 3 weeks of your running routine are all only 2 days a week, and you're running 2 miles or under. The tip I have for you guys is to base your running off of your own experience in running. Have you traditionally been a short distance runner? Have you traditionally been a long distance runner back in your, athletic days and, high school sports, anything like that? Or have you traditionally just not been a runner whatsoever? It hasn't been your cup of tea, but you're looking to get into it and experiment with it. So I would definitely base your beginning running routine when you're getting started based on some of your experiences you've had in the past. If you've traditionally been a short distance runner to no running experience whatsoever, definitely abide by my first rule in starting slow, starting small, and not running more than twice a week at the beginning to get yourself into a routine, get yourself into a habit, something that you can sustain going forward, and you can always go up from there. Don't start at such a, 5 runs a week and you're going to fall off immediately because you don't have the motivation to just keep grinding like that with something that you're just trying new for the first time. So definitely start slow, start small, based on your own experience. If you traditionally have been a long distance runner, maybe you can run more than, I wouldn't recommend running more than twice, maybe 3 times a week if you're feeling it, but you could run longer than a 2 mile distance if you have traditionally have gone longer than that, say 4, 5, 6, maybe up to 10 miles. So certainly based on your own experience, because your body's going to be under a whole lot of new pressure by running, your joints are really going to feel it, and just be sure that this is going to be all new for you. Start slow, start small, ramp it up based on your experience, and you're going to be just fine. The third tip I have for you guys is to not even time the first couple of times that you run or the first couple of weeks that you run. It's not the most important part of your running routine and your running process, especially when you're first getting started, because the times that you're going to be running at the beginning are going to be so irrelevant come 1-2 months into it, because you're going to be building your cardiovascular system so much over the time that you're gradually getting into it that those times are not going to matter whatsoever. What I would do is to plan your route out ahead of time, know the mileage that you will be running. Like I said, maybe stick to a 2 miles and under type of routine. Plan your route out, maybe somewhere new. You can plan multiple routes, but know where you're going to be running, and then just go out and run that distance. Don't worry so much about, if I'm on pace, nothing like that's really that important, especially when you're getting started, just because it's so important to just get into routine, get into something that you can enjoy, something that you know that you can finish. It's going to build your confidence, and that's going to be super pivotal going forward into increasing your running duration and increasing your mileage week over week. The fourth tip I have for you guys when it comes to getting started in running is to make a schedule and commit to that schedule. Plan out, if you're going to be running twice a week, plan out 2 days of the week where you're going to have those runs on, and put them in a calendar, put them in your notes on your phone, give yourself an alert on your phone, put them in a spreadsheet like I have them so you can track them. But just dedicate 2 days of the week where you're going to be getting your runs in. If you're, doing weight training as well, like I do, I tend to plan my running days on days that I am not lifting, just because it's a little easier for me, and I kind of play with some of my nutrition on days that I know I'm going to be running, because I know I'm going to need a little more energy on those days, especially if I'm going for some long runs or some tempo runs. And for instance, in the weather that I ran today, definitely needed some more energy for that today. So definitely plan 2 days of the week when you're getting started that you're going to be running on, so you can stick by that schedule, you can commit to that schedule, and you know what your running days are going to be. Because if you don't plan them out, you're just going to be like, well, I have to run twice this week. I'm not sure when I'm going to get them in, but they're going to get done eventually. Chances are you're probably not going to get them done, and you're going to your schedule is going to go awry at that point. So plan them out ahead of time, and then you'll have a schedule that you can commit to and something that you can look forward to on the week. All right, guys, my fifth and final tip for getting started in running is to have a proper pair of running shoes. God, I can't tell you how important this was for me specifically when I first got started. I had some really old pair of trainers that probably the soles that were totally worn out, and they didn't offer any sort of support whatsoever. And I was like, well, I'm going to run in these because this is what I have and this is what I'm going to use. Not the best decision. I wish I would have knew this at the beginning. It would have saved my feet a lot of blisters and would have made the process a hell of a lot more enjoyable on my joints as well. So go out, get yourself a nice pair of running shoes. I mean, you can find some really nice pairs, $100 and under. There's a lot of really good sales going on, especially during the running season. If you're like here in the Midwest, when the winter ends and the summer comes through, there's a lot of deals on them. So find yourself a good pair of running shoes. And even if you can, maybe if you can get 2 pairs, that'd be really good, because it's nice to have a rotation of shoes that you can commit to. Just the technology in some of the shoes these days, in terms of the soles, for instance, I use a nice pair of Adidas shoes, and the Boost technology in those it works wonders when it comes to sustaining the energy in your step each and every way, but also making your feet feel comfortable and not making the run so gruesome on your joints and on your feet, especially when you're kicking up the mileage above 20, 30, 40 miles a week. So, and there you have it, guys. Those are my top 5 tips for getting started in running. What I'm going to be doing the rest of this week to round out my first full week of half marathon prep. We did the tempo run today. On Thursday here, we're going to be doing a long run, about 8 miles at a slower pace, maybe an 8 minutes per mile pace. And then we're going to round the week out with a track workout that I'll hopefully have some footage of, but we're going to be doing some 400-meter repeat training to just kind of work on some speed work, and it's going to be very helpful to kind of get us to the pace where we want to be. Ultimately, at the end, it's going to build our lactate threshold, and I can get a little more into that after I do that workout at the end of this week. So I'll see you guys in the next one.